Hey guys, what's up? This is gonna be a 1v1 in the Masters League on North America. I did get I think I'm top 15 now, maybe. I'm really hoping I can get into top 8, because I've never done that before, and that'd be really sick. But anyways, I am a Peacekeeper on the top right position of Daybreak, and in the bottom left it is the Blue Terran. Oh god, this name. How do you read this? M. Tersgo? Tersgo? I don't know, I'm gonna call him the Blue Terran. Anyways, so me against the Blue Terran, and I've been kind of experimenting with Widowmine Marine drops into more of like a one base Banshee into tank Marine push. Like this was like the first time I tried it, and because some other guy had done this build against me, and I didn't even watch the replay, but I just knew his command center was like after 7:30 because I looked at the build order thing after we played that night, and I got demolished by it, by the way. And so I was like, that seems like a really fun build, because I mean it's Marine Widowmine drop into Banshee into tank Marine Banshee push. Like that has so much cool micro in it that I don't know. I mean I love my macro games, but at the same time, you know, microing is kind of what I like doing, what I enjoy most when I play this game. And look at the other side, those look like Blue Terran. He's going for 13 gas. I went for 11 gas, 13 racks. No, sorry, 11 gas, 12 racks, just so I can get that barracks out a bit earlier, and I could also get my factory out straight away after my barracks. So the plan is get a medevac, 2 widow mines, and 4 marines, and drop into his mineral line. See what I can get done. Try and get the widow mines back out as well as the marines. But if I had to choose over the marines or widow mines, that I'd probably want to take the widow mines back, because they're just really useful in defense as well as if I want to be offensive, or if I want to put them in the middle of the map somewhere, or take a watchtower with it. It has so many uses that it's just great. So there's going to be no add-on on my barracks. The factory goes down straight after the barracks. You go up to 16 SCVs, and then you build your orbital. But anyways, you're going to have constant marine production, and you should get around 4 marines by the time your medevac pops out, if not 6. But yeah, looks like my opponent is trying to scout me. I did kind of neglect to scout just because this is a pretty heavy one base play, and I want all the SCVs to mine. If you guys didn't know, an SCV brings 5 minerals back every trip, and it takes him 5 seconds to make one trip. So every second that an SCV is not mining, that's 1 mineral per second that you could have had, but you're not having right now. So yeah, especially if you're doing some sort of one base play where the timings are pretty tight, you really want to maximize your income for sure. I might drop down a scan a bit later, but I might just go straight into his base with my drop and use that as kind of like my scouting into the mid game. And my plan is to go into kind of bio heavy with 1 factory maybe worth of tank production. I just like more mobile style when it comes to all matchups, to be honest. Like I used to like Mech and Wings of Liberty, but now it's just kind of, I don't know. I'm not patient enough to play Mech, to be honest. I like being on the map, like microing this stuff. And my opponent does look like he expanded after a factory. I'm expecting a reactor or something on his barracks. Maybe he wants to go for some Hellions. No, it looks like he's going for a defensive widow mine. That's a good choice, because I mean, drops are so common these days. I'm going to do a drop, so I mean... Well, okay, so after the first 4 marines, I put a tech lab on the barracks, so I can swap it onto the starport after I load up this drop. And this is the force I'm going to be dropping with. If the widow mines can get some good hits off, either on his marines or on a clump of SCVs, you can get some SCV kills. And if you kill his marines, your marines get to kill a bunch of SCVs. Or at least you're going to waste a lot of mining time, and that's what I'm kind of counting on. And here we go. I load up this drop, constant SCV production behind this, and I'm starting to bank up some minerals. So after I make this Banshee, I'm going to go ahead and plop down my expansion, as well as getting a tech lab on this factory, so I can start that tank production for my tank push follow-up. And I actually did it a bit more economical than the guy who did it to me. He didn't actually expand until after, around 7:30, to put down his expansion, because he really wanted to do it one base tank push with Banshees really hard. And so I'm going to go in. This widow mine does reveal itself at the last second. I'm like, oh fuck. But I know widow mines don't kill medevacs in one shot, so I'm pretty happy about that. and I go in anyways. I get some kills. I've killed 9. That's pretty good on my part. Yeah, and I'm actually ahead in workers, quite far ahead actually. And I scan to take this out, and then my Marines get stuck in between his mineral patches, and that gives his Marines time to kind of sneak up on my medevac, and he scans to take out both of these. So although I did some good damage, I guess we traded pretty evenly. My Banshee is going to go in, and having that reactor on my barracks to make as many Marines as possible, because I want my Marines to be kind of like tanking units for my tanks to siege up and rain down the splash damage on his units, as well as with some more Banshees as well. Should be able to. And I forget that I didn't kill this Widow Mine, so I foolishly go in here and I actually delay Cloak by quite a bit because I'm kind of, I don't know, desperate for minerals and stuff, and I want to get my tank push to be as strong as possible. But anyways, boom. 2 shots from a Marine and this is dead. But some of the SCVs here are quite low on health, so that does give me the opportunity to one-shot a bunch of these. I do opt to bring it back, and I'd rather have this in a later fight, have it repaired up, and fight another day than get taken out for just a few more SCVs. Because right now I'm pretty far ahead, believe it or not. He expanded way before me. I think he missed some SCV production here and there, but apart from that, it's all been my harassment. It's done pretty well. 14 SCVs killed. I'm ahead by 200 lost. It's pretty significant in this kind of game where every unit is going to count, because my follow-up push is going to be pretty powerful. But what he's doing is pretty smart. Daybreak, this area is so easy to defend with a good number of tanks. So he's gone double factory with tech labs to just crank out a bunch of tanks. So, you know, unless I have superior upgrades or a lot more tanks, there's no one going to be able to push in here and kill him anytime soon. He does have a missile turret here to kind of defend against Banshees, a nice Widow Mine here in case of drops here, an uncloaked Banshee coming or something. At this point I realize I have quite a lot of gas, so I think I'm going to start Cloak pretty soon. I have a Viking as well to defend my my Banshee from enemy Vikings, because what I want to do is, I know he has tanks, so I want to pick them off with my Banshees as I kind of creep forward with my tanks, because the Banshees will give vision. And if my Vikings, if I have the air superiority, my Banshees just kind of have free reign on the tanks, so I do have to be careful for the Marines if they stim forward, but he doesn't have stim, because I think he's going mech behind this pretty much. And so for now, his Marines are serve the exact same role that my Marines are going to serve, which is just tanking. Or like, with some added DPS, because DPS is still pretty fucking good. I'm gonna go double Tech Lab here to get double upgrades straight away. Yep, here we go. And the Marauders are pretty good against Mech, if you want. Because they do the bonus damage to armored, so any Thors, any tanks that they can get close enough to with some decent spreads, should be able to take that force out. But, I don't know. My opponent's done a pretty good job of building up a tank count. And there's like this rough rule where, as long as you have 5 or more tanks, which are sieged up in nice positions, your opponent can pretty much never break you unless they have an overwhelmingly large supply lead or something. My opponent is slightly supply blocked, and I am quite far ahead in supply, but a lot of that is in workers. He's been kind of sloppy with his worker production. But I move in here anyways. I did expect a bunch of tanks, but not this many, to be honest. I didn't think he'd go double factory production. And I kind of miscontrolled this. My Marine's gonna go forward and die straight away, but his Marines also get pulled forward. So my 2 tanks do pretty well against him, and I have vision on this tank, and so this tank is firing on it, as well as my Banshees, and at this point, he scans, but he's not enough Marines to pick them off straight away. My Viking is actually pretty low on health, so I really need to be careful, because he is starting Viking production as well. And so I move forward, see if I can poach off some tanks, which I can. It's pretty nice, and I see the SCV line is pretty exposed right now, so I do go in there. And behind this, I am transitioning into a more bio style play. I am rallying across the map so I can have as much stuff at the front to try and push him, do as much damage to him as possible. And I do pick up a bunch more workers here. I'm up at 17 workers killed. I'm ahead by a lot of SCVs, but he picks up one of my Banshees. The Banshee has 11 kills. It's insane. And I just really light contain on him. Like, if he bothered to kind of micro this properly with his Viking and stuff, he could take this out. But it looks like I do pull back now, which is a decent choice, because those 2 tanks are going to serve quite useful in the late game. And so my ultimate plan against Mech players is in the mid game, do a lot of bio drops and stuff, abuse the mobility that I have as well with good upgrades, and I want to try and expand faster than he does, just because his army is so slow, and it's not very powerful until it has, you know, it's at like past 150 food, and that's not going to happen for a while. So I'm just going to try and expand as much as possible, mine more stuff, be less cost efficient, but be more mobile, be annoying, pick some stuff off, and ultimately I want to transition to an air Terran transition. Yeah, because mech players tend to go a lot of tanks and hellbats and stuff, a lot of ground-based units. So if I transition into BCs and stuff, I should be able to do pretty well in the late game. And I want to, because I have that tech lab starport, I do build another one for like Vikings and stuff. I do want to like kind of have the air superiority throughout this game, so that transition to BCs will be that much more powerful. I'm building an armory. I'm adding double reactors onto these because I do want to have some marines. Their DPS is just so good against hellbats and stuff, because they are light, and marines do great against all types of armor types. So my second starport is coming down. I do throw a reactor down it. My production should kick in pretty soon. I'm gonna secure my third over here, just because it's kind of easier to defend, and you have the watchtower, and you'll see your enemy coming. And so I think I do start tank upgrades, to be honest, which is, maybe I shouldn't have done that. Maybe I should have gone for armor. Yeah, I probably should have gone for armor, because my air transition later is going to be more powerful if I have the upgrades. That's a problem, like, if you transition into BCs and stuff and you don't have very good upgrades on it, a good Thor transition from the meching player can do pretty well, because they can switch their attacks into high impact payload, which does bonus damage against armored air units, and it has no splash, but it's just more damage. So that's pretty good. And he has 4 Vikings, but I have a Raven. That's going to be pretty good, as well as the Marine support. I am making 2 Vikings behind this, so if I throw down PDD or something, I should be pretty good against those Vikings. And once I have air control, this one Banshee should be able to pick away at what he has, as well as me being able to move my tanks forward, because he doesn't have the vision, and I won't get hit. I do probably want to get a 4th soon. My main is going to mine up pretty soon. And I do want to add a lot of production, because the thing with bio is it's not going to trade very efficiently against mech, so I do want to have a lot of expansions, which then I can mine resources from, and then kind of sustain this cost inefficiency by having a lot of production and remaking a lot of stuff, and kind of trying to overwhelm my opponent. And my opponent has just taken the 3rd, does go for a planetary fortress, which is pretty smart when you're going mech, because your army is pretty slow, and if you want to sit out here like all clumped up, then you want to have some sort of defenses to delay against the bio units. Yeah. And if you're going against mech, there's pretty much no point in getting a planetary, because the tanks will just siege up and outrange your planetary and just kill it. And also, because mech players don't usually have a lot of air, if you go orbitals, you can just lift off and save that command center and land it back down once you've defended the push or stuff like that. 2-2 is on the way. My upgrades are a bit slow actually for the bio. My opponent, I do have a significant supply lead right now, but with this many tanks over here, I'm not going to be able to push into that. I do believe I try, because I want to kind of chip away at the mech army constantly. I know my production is probably better than his, and if possible I want to deny this 4th position, because 4-base mech is going to be really good. And I cloak these Banshees up. I am stepping forward. A lot of this stuff does get taken out though. I am quite cost inefficient, less efficient than I should be. But I do get a good number of tanks. I killed the Thors. I am throwing down a point defense drone. I'm going to throw down some turrets to try and get some splash damage, but it turns out splash damage isn't big enough. So I just look like an idiot doing that. But I do move my tanks forward. That was an unnecessary move, I feel like. But at the same time, now he is quite low on the supply count again. I've kind of knocked him down over and over. His SCV count is actually pretty damn low as well. As a mech player, you really want to build up until like 70 SCVs, and then once you've added a bunch more orbitals, that's when you can start sacking your SCVs, go down to maybe 40, and have most of the mineral income be from meals. I only realized in this game that point defense zones actually give you a lot of vision. Like, look at that. I get to see whatever is here. And so that's pretty good for me. I'm trying to reproduce. I accidentally attacked my own medevac there, it's kind of weird. But I'm going to go for a doom drop in his main to see if I can get some damage done. I believe it fails pretty horribly, because this one's already damaged. and I don't micro my medevacs very well. But I am adding +2 vehicle weapons. He's adding it as well at the same time. I'm going for +3 attacks for infantry. +2 shield is nearly done. See, most of my medevacs just get taken out really fast. But it does look like I get a bunch of SCVs again. I've killed 33 SCVs this game. He's down at 41. So that's really nice for me. I do try and pick off this tech lab to kind of hamper his tank production, because he only has, okay, no, he's built these as well now, so, but he only has one tech lab right now, so he can only build one Thor or one tank at a time. That's really not a position you want to be as a mech player, because just pure Hellbat is going to get kited by bio, like, to no end. I'm slightly oversaturated here. I should be able to move some down here. I am oversaturated here as well. Wow, that's really bad. But I'm going to try and secure my 5th base now. But nevertheless, wow, 95 workers. I should have a lot less, to be honest. That is way too many. I should be wanting to maximize my army of supply right now. And once I have my 5th base, that's really, like 4th and 5th base, that's really when I want to start doing that tech switch into battlecruisers. So I am putting fusion core as well as, I think, like 2 more starports, because I already have one with a tech lab, one with a reactor. So adding 2 more starports with tech labs on them will let me crank out the higher tech air units, like the Ravens and battlecruisers, 3 at a time, while I can still pump 2 Vikings at a time out of the other one, and out of the tech lab starports if necessary. Plus the armor for infantry, because once I initially max out on a battlecruiser and like tank based army, if we trade and we trade efficiently and both of our armies are dead, I really want to go back into bio production, because bio is just so good in that medium, like 120 supply stage against tanks and stuff. If you split efficiently and stuff, you can do pretty well. And so I want to kind of tech switch in between bio and battlecruisers and stuff to see if I can catch his stuff off guard. This actually, I was anticipating him to expand here pretty soon, so I kind of sent it here, and he saw it with his Widow Mine. So he does reposition his units, but it does keep him on his toes. Lets me expand pretty much uncontested. I should have some of these down here for sure. But my saturation is looking pretty damn good. My mineral income is amazing right now. It's over 2,200, something like that. My opponent is expanding here, but I do leave these units here and I can swing around and destroy that pretty fast. I do want to secure the gas geysers on all the bases straight away, because I really need to fund the battle cruisers with that. I do get the Raven energy, the Corvid reactor, as well as the Behemoth reactor for battlecruiser energy, because Yamato is just so good against Thors as well as Vikings and stuff. Now I am starting the +1 ship and vehicle armor, and I really should have put down a 2nd army sooner, because right now my battlecruisers and stuff have 0/0. Yeah, my Vikings as well. And they're only gonna have +1 armor against his Thors and stuff that have +2 attacks, +3 pretty soon if he wants to do that. And I am kind of being a bit too passive here. I really want to get as much damage in as possible before he does this push and kind of transition into more battlecruiser based army. So I am trading this. I'm letting this die, because just killing as much as possible and then letting this die and replacing that supply with more useful units is probably what I want to do. I think I have, yeah, 1 battlecruiser worth of supply open right now, because there are 6 supply. It's a really big supply. I do move another little bio contingency over here to see what I can get done, but his sensor tower sees it immediately, so he does reposition. And I do move the rest of my bio units that were here up here as well to try and swing around and deny this base yet again. So I drop in here, but his Vikings are in position. He's got a siege tank as well, so I just try to pick off this tank and then just kind of stop paying attention to it. It's not really worth trying to micro that. You're not going to get anything done out of it. He does have vehicle weapons +3 coming. I am at 2-1. The problem with going for this like tank defense as well as air transition, you really want to have the upgrades. You want to choose one. As I said before, I really should have been working on the air upgrades instead of the vehicle ground upgrades. And you see that my army is really small right now, and his army is fucking humongous. Sorry, excuse my language, sorry. But his army is so much bigger than mine right now. 4 tanks are not going to hold this. Just no way it's going to hold that. but I do have air superiority, so hopefully I can get something done with that. My BC should be popping out sometime soon. And even with an army this big, charging into for sieged up tanks and some bio isn't gonna, it's not gonna favor you very much. And I do launch out the Hunter Seeker missiles to try and get as much damage done. I do pick off 2 tanks as well as damage the ones around it. He doesn't put his Thors to high impact payload, which is a big mistake because nowadays this Thor is just doing, this Battlecruiser is doing so much damage. I could actually have brought these, like maybe loaded them up and dropped them on his tanks, but I'm kind of just sacking this base. I'm gonna lift this off pretty soon, and hopefully he doesn't kill it because he doesn't have any air right now. He's trying to desperately crank out some more air. He only has 1 starport, and he is building 2 more now to frantically try and catch up in terms of the air units. And he really doesn't give me that air superiority. He's building a bunch of SCVs now, and I could really use to lose a few more SCVs to be honest. And I did put another planetary here to delay any sort of pushes like this. All I want to do is delay until I have enough Battlecruisers and stuff to try and do some damage. And oh, those SCVs get caught right in their right as they're transferring over. But I take this opportunity. I know his army is here, and that's quite a lot of supply, so I know he doesn't have much back at home. So I do stim in here and try to deny this base. And I should be pretty successful. Now I have 3 Battlecruisers and a bunch of Vikings. His Vikings should go down pretty fast. I am Yamatoing his Thors, so they go down pretty fast. And right now all he can do is just kind of hope to do as much damage as possible. My 2 planetaries are pretty low. This one's getting repaired for the longest time. If those hadn't been there, this base would have been dead, and I would have been down to 1 base saturation. But that's not too bad. And I do let these guys die as well over here because I do want to free up that supply for more Battlecruisers. But I am still committing to a lot of bio, just because bio is just a lot. Because I just have the infrastructure to it, and I want to remax as fast as possible, and then try and kind of beat him after that. And SCV repair is pretty damn good right now. These 6 SCVs are making sure this Thor lands this for like the longest time possible. My command center from here is actually safe, and I can float that back down later. My opponent is still not gotten this base, but his SCV count is pretty low. Mine's been cut down by quite a bit as well, but it shouldn't be too bad at this point because I am pretty high on supply, and if I can max and have an even bigger army than him in terms of the cost and the resources within that army, I should be in pretty good shape. I did add a bunch more barracks down here. Let's see what kind of production I'm rolling with right now. That's pretty good. It's 12 barracks, a factory, and 4 starports. It's more than enough to spend the money coming from my 3 bases. I should start mining off this 3rd base pretty soon. But he's just desperately trying to crank out more Vikings because he doesn't want to lose to my BCs. And he's making Hellbats, which is kind of a questionable choice. I think he should be building just pure Thor right now, together with Vikings and maybe some Ravens. Because I'm not kidding, like the Thors are so good against BCs when you have the high impact payload turned on. I am at 1-1 right now. He has +2 armor, and my +2 attack is about to finish. His +1 attack is about to finish. So our upgrades are kind of equal. I did have another armor here, but that one did get destroyed, so I did have to restart the +2 attacks, which has been unfortunate, but it's not that bad. I do add a bunch of medevacs to try and increase the cost efficiency of my bio, but a lot of it does get taken out pretty much straight away. I'm Yamatoing the crap out of his army, which is so good. It just does so much initial damage. And I even have higher Viking count than him at the end, as well as these 7 BCs, and he GG's out. He knows he can't beat me right now. Yep. So that was a pretty cool game, where I nice little bio versus mech match. Pretty much, I played it pretty well. I think the transitions were pretty smooth. The only thing I'd fault myself for doing is getting the ground mech weapons upgrades instead of the air armor and air attack, because that means my BCs and Vikings would have been a lot better when they came out initially. But yeah, so if you guys are struggling playing bio against mech, then I hope you guys learn a few things that'll help you guys in the future. Thanks for watching, guys, and I hope you see you guys next time.